Oh, so it did actually work. It did actually get to the contract and confirm. Erases, that means it got sent to the blockchain. And if we get the message one more time, that's pretty awesome. I got a good one today. I got a good one for y'all today. We're gonna do a little blockchain, so it's gonna be fun. If you've never done blockchain stuff, stop. Don't click off. Come on. We're gonna do something on the Sepolia test network. Send a message that gets hashed onto the blockchain, and we're gonna pull that message and show it on our application. All right, guys, I'll see you in the computer. So this looks all really complicated. If like you've never seen Etherscan, you're like, Remix, what is all this stuff? What is Sepolia? Guys, relax. I just have a new folder. I'm dropping in. We're starting complete fresh. And I'm going to go to Remix IDE. And we're going to start completely fresh, guys. Okay, so we have Remix IDE completely initialized with nothing. And I have my VS Code completely initialized with nothing. All we need over here, I'm just going to go to the top left and say create new workspace. And this, we'll say blockchain message app. And I can go ahead and say create new workspace. It'll configure everything, just do the thing. But the biggest thing, all we need is really just to make one contract here. We're going to do that in a bit, but that's all we need to do so far with Remix. Just keep it really easy. Just build a small environment. All we're going to do, in fact, we'll just build out the file right now, is just say new file. And I'll say message.sol. So that's as far as we're going to take that so far. And then let's go back to our VS Code and let's say npx create react app dot slash. Let me zoom in a whole bunch for y'all. So npx create react app dot slash. That should create our application. We have a few things to do. You know, I was using Hardhat and trying to use Truffle and Ganache with the last one. Truffle to help deploy the contract, and Ganache as a local blockchain. I'll show you guys we're not going to use this, but this is what it looks like. Ganache is like a local blockchain that I can kind of deploy stuff to. You could see I haven't deployed anything to it because all my Ethereum balances are still here. Either that, or I think I've used it once before, but it must refresh, which is fantastic. But what you need for this tutorial is make sure you have a MetaMask. So go to MetaMask and download one of these, build one of these out. Make sure to get the extension as well. So we'll go to MetaMask extension. You're gonna need this as, I think it might just come with this. So find it here to download it, download MetaMask. It seems like this right here will work for you. Walk through this. So we're gonna need to install a MetaMask right here, and it'll ask you for all of your keys. Make sure to write that down. But this is just gonna be a test account, so don't even sweat it. But just keep everything all lightweight, guys. Don't think too heavy about this. And then when you finally download MetaMask, so pause right now if you haven't downloaded it and download MetaMask, and then you want to go up to here to the top left, and you want to click on show test networks and look for Sepolia test network. And that's going to be the one we want to do. And you may need to add it, you may need to configure it, but that is how it was for me. It can change. I've seen some things change. So that's going to be up there, and make sure you're on your account. And this is your wallet address, and you can see all of our things. So that's kind of basics. What we need so far is just VS Code, Remix, and then our MetaMask. And then make sure the MetaMask is configured on the Sepolia test network. And then finally, we have the Sepolia ETH. Guys, this is all a free tutorial. You're not paying for anything. So go to Alchemy University, or Google this, Alchemy University, and say Sepolia, not extension, but Sepolia faucet. And it's going to be this one right here. So actually, I think it's just Alchemy. Yeah, Alchemy Sepolia faucet. And it's going to be this Ethereum Sepolia faucet right here. And all you need to do, take your MetaMask, copy your address right here, just click it, copy it, paste it in here, say I'm not a robot, and send me ETH. Now it's going to throw me an error message because you have to wait every 24 hours to have them send you Sepolia. But for you, it should be your very first one, and they'll send you half a 0.5 Sepolia Ethereum. So you could go ahead and receive it. Takes a minute or two, and then you'll see it pop into your account. And boom, there it is. So that's kind of all the prereqs we need so far. So let's just bird's eye again. If you got your VS Code, you're good to go. Installed with Node, of course. And then we need our Remix IDE should be open to you, and just basic workspace like this. We need MetaMask, and we need MetaMask on our Sepolia test network. And then we need that MetaMask with Sepolia ETH. So if you've done boom, 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 I know it's about 5-10 minutes into the tutorial. You crushed it. You're doing great so far. So let's dive in. Now we'll actually do the contract stuff a little bit later. Let's go ahead and just build our React application so that we can get running on this. So I'll go to localhost, but we'll have it over here. I'll resize my stuff. I'm going to close out of my console, get a little water while the localhost is firing up. Great. So this is our React application. If we go to app.js, this is all of our material in here from div to div. I'm going to delete from div to div, basically just the header to header. And we want to clean that out basically and say, hello blockchain or hello Sepolia. Let's do that. And you can see it, boom, pops up right there on our application after we press save. So I'm going to open up the window over here and I'm going to Google Tailwind React. We want to install Tailwind for this project. So we've done step 1, which is create a React project, and we want to go to step 2. So npx install Tailwind. So I'll hit Command C and Command V and go ahead and install those two things. That should give us a Tailwind config. We're just going to use this for just basic CSS. You also don't have to do this if you want to just do CSS your own way. But for me, it's just quick on the fly. The next thing we want to do is copy this code down, paste it in. Basically, we're just changing the lines here so that Tailwind can change any of the src directory files. Is what this means, is all the folders and all the files ending in .js, .jsx, ts, and tsx. And then finally, we want to take our directives in Tailwind and pop them at the top of the screen, and we are good to go. And that's everything we need to do to install Tailwind. So I just restarted the server. I'm going to close out of these things and let's go back to our hello Sepolia on page or app.js. I'll say class name, and this is just going to test whether we have a Tailwind installed correctly. Let's just double check real quick while the server's restarting. I'm going to close out of the Tailwind application and get some more water, and it looks like Tailwind did successfully get installed. Perfect. So we want to now install, or what do we want to do next is let me pull this over, is our MetaMask configuration. Okay, so MetaMask is what we just installed for the browser, for the extension, right? And if you guys have used blockchain applications, usually when you land on the page, there's like a connect wallet button. And for those of you who maybe haven't done that, that's what some of these blockchain applications have, is like, hey, connect your wallet right here. You click the button, boom, your MetaMask pops up and it's like, should I connect? Do I accept to connect to this website or not? So we want to build that button and all the logic that allows us to connect our wallet to this application. Because right now our MetaMask just exists right here. It doesn't know to talk to this Hello Sepolia application. So we need to build that. We need to build that link. And that's what we're going to do right here. So I need to press this and say npm install this React. Let's Command C and Command V to npm install the React SDK. And while that's going in, I need to pull in this MetaMask provider. I'm going to go to the index.js file and put that in on line 6. And I need to wrap my application with this MetaMask provider. You can see all this stuff is on the documentation. If you Google MetaMask React docs, it should pop it up, and it's not the first one. Notice there's one above it. We're going to go down to the second one. So it'll bring it to here, go to the second one, and you can steal this MetaMask provider. Maybe I'll have the code too. I'm not sure. If maybe I'll probably put the code in the links below. So also look for that if you guys get lost at any point in time. But go ahead and do that. And then, oops, I pressed save on that. Did not mean to do that. Okay, so that'll do that. And then we want to actually build a components folder here. And in the components folder, I'm going to build a connect to MetaMask. That's called a, so here they have it all out here. They say do it in your app file, but I don't want to do it in our app file. I'm going to do it in a separate component. So I'll actually just paste it in and then we'll rename it to connect to MetaMask. And boom, that should be, where's the red line? Why are we getting, oh, right here, we're not using TypeScript, so we need to get rid of this string. Boom. Okay, so that should clean everything up. Let's close out of this connect to MetaMask thing. Let's close out of index.js. If we've done those two things correctly, we should be able to import our connect MetaMask component here, connect to MetaMask, and let's import it like this. So import a connect to MetaMask from components, connect to MetaMask. And then I'll actually get rid of this background red here. We don't need that. I just wanted to make sure that Tailwind was working. So we've imported connect to MetaMask from our components folder, the folder we just made, and the file right here, connect to MetaMask. And we should see it. We don't see it here because we need to actually restart the server. But if we've done that correctly, we should be able to see a connect button right here. It'll just be the letters connect. But we can make it a button. We can style it up if we want. Let's see. Perfect time to grab some water. Okay, so it's loading. It's loading. It's loading. Let's see, guys. Let's see. And again, I've got a ton of CSS advice and videos, and maybe we'll build out a full, like, beautiful blockchain application together. But this is just going to be a really generic, like, let's just get functionality working with the blockchain stuff, and you can go ahead and run with whatever CSS stuff you want. Okay, so boom, export default was not found. Connect to MetaMask. Let's see what is going on. Export. Let's change this to a function, and we'll say export default, and we'll take out this arrow function so it looks like this. I think that'll work. Boom. Okay, so here we go. And you can see mine's actually already connected because I've already done this. But if you press connect, it should pop up with your MetaMask and say, hey, do you want to connect? And click on the desktop version, and then it shows you the chain that we're on. And this is the Sepolia test network chain. And then that's actually the account address here for this test account. If I change the chain, you can see that the connected chain will actually, so we originally selected that test network for Sepolia. If I choose the Gorelli or the Ropsten test network or the Ethereum mainnet, you can actually see it goes to OX1 there. So yeah, super interesting, guys, super fun. That's how you know you're on the Ethereum main chain. But let's go back to the Sepolia one. We're on the test network. I don't have any money in this account. And I recommend not doing this with a real account, guys. Do this definitely with a dummy, fake MetaMask account. Do not use a real account. Anything that you lose on this is not my responsibility. Yeah, so just do yourself a favor. Use a burner account. This is what I have 3 burner accounts for development. Like, just do that. Trust me. Okay, so boom, we're connected. The MetaMask is connected to this. And we can actually go ahead and go to the next step. Now, if you want to fancy up that button, you can actually come down here if you want and say class name, BG Blue, 500. Let's see if it pops it up. Boom. It's a text white, right? Rounded full if you want. PX4, PY2. Should do a whole bunch more. PX8. But let's get rid of this style. So there was styles keeping it all different, but there you go. And that would actually be, let's see, BG Blue 600. This would be similar to, oh, there's a background one. This is just CSS stuff that you cannot do if you don't want. But this is just, I feel we've all seen these buttons where you click them and then it pops up with the connect deal. I just wanted to show you guys, how quickly you could go ahead and CSS up your buttons. Okay, so that's for you. Let's go ahead and kind of build out some of this functionality now. So we have our MetaMask information. Let's build out a div real quick and just say inputs, and this will be a placeholder here. And we'll say enter message here, just so we can see it. And then I'll actually put a class name that will say BG Gray 100, and I'll say PX2, maybe PY2, rounded MD, shadow, just so we can kind of see the text thing. And then likewise here, I'll add a button, and this will say create, or maybe send message on blockchain, or create message. I guess it's fine. I don't want to get too wordy on all this. And then we'll make this BG red 500. I'm actually just going to say create instead of create message. But whatever you're comfortable with, guys. I know I'm kind of like, I don't want to say lackadaisical. Oh, just like kind of do this. But like really, like don't get super stressed out about the technicals. I think that's like not the point of this. It's to kind of zoom out and see the bird's eye view. But yeah, so I'm going to say this ML2, just give us some space from the left side. I'll say active scale 90 and transition. That way, when we click it, we can see us click it. And yeah, guys, and that'll be all the framework we need so far for. I'll actually give us just a little bit of padding above. So I'll say F4, or a little bit of a margin above and below. And then I think that's pretty much everything we need, guys. Okay, so, well, not everything we need, but now's where we start to get to the kind of wild part, the enjoyable part, in my opinion, or the fun part, which is going to be to remix, right? We're going to do some Solidity programming. So this is going to be where we need to build out some functionality for our smart contract. And guys, I'm looking at the time. We're 20 minutes in or so, depending on how I kind of cut this video up. So I'm going to go here to just another one of these contracts, and I'm just stealing the first bit, guys, like just to configure it. So I'll pass this in, and we can actually change this license identifier if we want, or the version of Solidity you want. Guys, let me zoom in a bunch for y'all. So I'm going to start with the contract keyword, and this is kind of the class in JavaScript. And I'll say contract message, and I'll go ahead and open it with some curlies. And what I want to do is do this. Let's see, we can do a few things, right? We can make it so only the owner can send a message. We can do a few things, but let's make it really simple initially. And I'm going to try my best to explain these things as I understand them. So here's a mapping, and this mapping, what it does, it's going to store a key with a value. Is what it's doing. It's kind of like assigning a key to a value. So we're going to assign an address, which will be the address of whoever sends the message, and we're going to assign that to a string. And so we're going to have like my address. Just think of my address as number 1 right now, ID 1. Obviously it's like 0x, whatever, all the jibber jab, but just ID 1. And then when I make a message, it'll be whatever the text we put in. Boom, that's going to be the string value. So address to that message value, and then I'm going to say public, so it's publicly accessible, and I'll say messages. So that should be kind of everything I think we need for storage variables, to be honest. And what I could do here is now add a function, and this function is going to be create message. And what I can also say is string memory, and I'll say underscore message, and this will be a public function, and I'll open it up. And guys, this is all JavaScript, obviously, create message. This all looks familiar. Now this stuff is going to look a little bit weird for you if you're a JavaScripter. But I've never seen Solidity before. So public right here, we have different viewable functions. You can like make them payable functions, public functions, viewable functions, private functions. And then this is just going to be the type. So just we pass in a parameter of something, some argument or parameter here. All we're doing is just defining it as a string. But this string happens to take memory on the smart contract. So that's why we can prepend it with this memory. But yeah, so I think that's not horrible. If you saw it like this, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's just a function that I'm passing stuff in. Okay, cool. So then what we want to do is say messages, and we want to say msg.sender in brackets, and we want to assign it to the message. And that's literally it for that one, right? We're done with that function. Guys, we're halfway there. We're halfway there. So we'll make another function. We'll say get message. I forgot we didn't even build a get message part, but this is going to be an address, and we're going to get the owner of this message, and it's going to be a public function. We'll build the get message thing on the front end here in a second in React, but let's do it here. And what this is going to be, sorry, I'm getting a bunch of text right now. I'm so sorry. And it's actually by another YouTuber, which is super funny. But okay, so we want the messages, and we're going to do the underscore owner here. And that's what we're actually going to return. So this is going to be a public view returns, I believe, string memory message, I believe. Yeah, so that's a bit of a mouthful there. Let's zoom out. Sorry guys, didn't mean to get all in your face on that, but that's what it should look like. I believe there might be a bug on this, there may not be. Yeah, but I think we've done it. I think we've done everything we need for creating a message and getting the message just as like plain Jane, hopefully as simple as possible. Because I know it's like really hard to comprehend. At least for me when I was like first learning Solidity, I was like, what is all this stuff? Okay, so we've done that. Now let's go here to the left. There's a Solidity compiler. If you look in your Explorer, a sidebar thing, it's going to be this guy, and we want to make sure we compile this contract, and then we can go ahead and go to the one below it, which is this Ethereum kind of like nugget with a triangle on the side. And I want to go up here to my environment. I want to make sure I do injected provider MetaMask. So this is when your MetaMask needs to be on your Sepolia test network, and we want to deploy. And if we've done this all correctly, it should pop up in the MetaMask. And this is kind of cool because we're actually using real Sepolia ETH from that faucet. We're using real Sepolia Ethereum to make a contract in the Sepolia test network. So we're going to deploy it. Oh, it just changed on us. It just changed on us the price. But let's go ahead and deploy it. So that'll take a sec, and you'll see down here it's creating the message contract. So give it a sec. Guys, I'll zoom back in, and boom, it created it. So, and it also popped up here on deployed contracts. So it looks like we didn't have any horrible bugs initially, right? Which is good. So we can either test the functionality or view it on Etherscan first. Let's maybe test the functionality. So I'll say test message. Let's see if we can create a message, which should pop down this MetaMask again. And boom, we can confirm the message. Let's see. should show us here in a moment if that works or not. Let's see, it's pending, it's pending, it's pending. We'll see if the function works. Hopefully it works first time. Sweet, I think it worked. And it did because we had the big check mark there. So just to make sure we can get it, let's go ahead and click our MetaMask and copy down your address here real quick. Just copy it and paste it into right here where the get message functionality is. And it should pop up test message. That's what we wrote up here. So perfect. That's how we know both those functionalities are working, creating a message and testing it. So right here in our terminal or our remix terminal, it shows us that we called this hash, I believe is my address. And then technically this function actually gets hashed onto the Sepolia test network. And that's what gets called is the bytes from that hash. But okay, so we don't need to get too much more down granular with that. We can actually click not on this first view on Etherscan, or not the second one, but click on this one, the one where we deployed the contract. Let's click on that one. I bet both of them end up in the same spot. And this is that contract we just built. This is it right here. So it's on the Sepolia. It tells you right here, this is a Sepolia test network one. But this is the contract deployed from this test account address. And it's to here, which is the contract address. And you can actually see that this is the create message hash. This was the inception of the contract right here, or the genesis of the contract. And over here, we can click on that contract to verify and publish. We can see events. We can see whatever ERC 20 token transfers are here. But the biggest thing that we want to focus on today is going to be this transactions tab and then the contract tab to verify and publish. Yeah, guys, but okay, so super fun. So we have the contract address, which we're going to need. And then we also, let's go back to our act. I'm going to clean up line 1. Don't need that logo. And let's see. I'm actually going to go ahead and steal some code, guys, because I realize we're taking a bit of time. I'm going to steal some code from that one I just showed you guys earlier. So let's go to the SRC and click on the app.js. Yeah, this looks crazy, right? But let's keep it easy. I'm going to paste in these use state commands, and we want to import use state from React. Sweet. So we just need all these to do a few things to set the contract. I actually don't think we need the accounts and stuff. So we might streamline some of this stuff. This was just for me to try to mess with that rewards feature. But okay, so this is an old contract. This address is specifically a contract address. So let's make that very clear. It's a contract address, and we're going to replace this address with the one we just made. So hold on one moment, and then we're going to need the contract ABI. We're not going to steal this one, but let me pull in this use effect right here. So we need that. Guys, I'll definitely have the code in the description for you guys. But okay, so use effect is not defined. We need to pull that in from React. So I'll do this, import use effect and use state from React. And what this is going to do is initialize our Web3. We need to also download Web3. So Web3, this is a library from Web3. So how do I explain what Web3 is? We have our blockchain, and then we have our front end, right? However they exist. We have our blockchain track that's deployed to the blockchain. And this guy over here exists over here with its functions and all of its stuff. And all those functions and everything works, as we saw in the Remix IDE. But we need all that now to connect to our front end. Our front end is just a React application that's like, hey, I don't know how to interact with the blockchain. So we can install one of two libraries. There's ethers.js or there's web3.js. And we're going to use web3.js. So I'll Google it, web3.js, and they're great. They have a fantastic, you can literally walk. This is actually how I started this. It was just boom right here. Just like, oh, this is how they do it. Boom. You take the contract address, all that stuff. But let's download it real quick. Download on NPM, and it's just going to be npm i web3. So come down to my terminal, and we'll go ahead and npm i web3. And guys, I'm trying to speed this up. I'm looking at the time. It's like 34 minutes ahead. Okay, so Web3 is installed, and we want to run start here. Sorry. Okay, so app.js, let's look what else we need real quick. Sorry guys, everything's just popping up. I'll go back to my app.js, and I need my send message function and my get message function. Okay, cool. And that's pretty much all. So, oh, and then the contract ABI, of course. And then we need to verify and publish the contract. Sorry guys. Okay, so this get message function, here, let me organize this a little bit better for you guys, and I'll give you the bird's eye view so you can copy down the code and do what you need to do. So let's see, boom. This message needs to come up here. Okay, so we have a send message. This is what the send message functionality looks like. We're setting loading to true. We're just using that just to show like a loading thing on the front page. So here we can actually just kind of erase all the things that aren't horribly relevant. Let me just get rid of all that for you guys. So get this down. This is the core bit of what you need for your send message. And then let's do the same for actually the get message here. This is going to be the core bit. I'll get rid of actually all the loading and all this stuff. So this is fundamentally what we're doing, right? This is the big lifting, right? All the other stuff was just try catchy blocks like error handling and loading fixtures is what I would call them, I guess. But this is the biggest thing that we want to do is make sure our send message is awaiting the contract.method and create message. So when we do this, how do I explain this? This contract is coming from here. So we still have a few more bits of work to do. We need to get the contract ABI. I know it's like a mouthful of stuff. Ignore it, not a big deal. And we need the contract address, which we do have. But these things put together is going to make a contract instance. And we're just making that contract instance within our React application. So kind of it hurts your head a lot, you know, it's like what is all this stuff? But basically we're taking all that blockchain functionality. The ABI just lets us know what that functionality is, and the address just lets us know which address the contract is. So we take those two things, all the functionality with the address, and we basically think of it like you package it up together. And you're setting it up as like, okay, well, here's my contract. And all we're doing is just using that within our app. We're just setting it so we can use it in other places in our application. So this is basically our contract instance. So if we wanted, we could honestly set this right here if we wanted, and probably do this if we wanted. So now when we say contract methods, we're accessing all the functionality in that contract. And then one of our methods happens to be let's go to Remix again. One of our methods happens to be the create message method. And that's what we're sending over is a string value of the message. And the message value is going to come from an input that we haven't, we did build. We did build. So I need to actually say value is message value. And then on change is going to be the e.target message value, or set message value to e.target.value. Awesome. And then we'll build the get message one in a moment, but let's do a few things. Send a message needs to go onto our button. We need to say on click, send message. Perfect. So our input is going to update the message. Our button is going to trigger off that message, and then we can have a button for getting the message as well. So I'll just copy down that other button and say get message, and we'll just change out the function. Instead of it being an on-click send message, we'll make it a on-click get message, and then I'll make the color blue instead of red. Okay, so let's look at our application now. Let's start up. We still have a few things we need to do. Let me crash the server and restart it. But we do have a few things. We still need to get the correct contract ABI and then verify and publish our contract to the Sepolia network. So it's deployed right now, but we need to verify and publish. You can see right here, it's throwing ABI. ABI is not defined. So let's go ahead and do that. If we go back to our Etherscan tab, and if you close out of it, no big deal. Just go back to your remix and redeploy the contract if you need to and view on Etherscan. And what you want to do is click on contract here. And right here, it's going to say, are you the contract creator? And we are the contract creator. So click verify and publish and go back to your remix. And you want to press Command A, Command C. And we want to copy down the contract real quick. Just keep it in our copy. And let's go through this. Our compiler type is going to be single file solidity. I am using this. If I go to my compiler, I'm using this one, 0.8.24, 11B9EDB9. Yeah, 11B9ED9. You may be using a different version. There's a whole bunch of them. Just make sure the one you click here is the same version you compiled your contract with. That's it. That's it. And then the file type, I'm going to use the MIT license. I'll go ahead and continue. And then enter the Solidity contract code below. This is where I want to paste all that code. Just that contract code of the message. And we can ignore everything else. I'm not a robot. And verify and publish. And we should get our contract ABI. Either that, or you can actually use Hardhat for this, but I'll leave that to you guys to use Hardhat where you can compile it. It'll give you your contract ABI as well. But okay, so boom, I'm going to copy all this down, all this contract ABI. Like I said, these are all, so this is our contract hash. It gets compiled down to bytecode, and the blockchain knows how to, they have a bunch of opcodes and they know how to understand this. The blockchain does. And then this ABI is for our front ends. I forget what it stands for, but we can actually just Google that real quick. What does ABI stand for? A blockchain. Let's see. Sure, it's like application binary interface. I was going to say some interface. So that was going to be my guess, because like APIs are application programming interface. So ABI is application binary interface. So let's go ahead and say const ABI and equals all of that we should copy down and paste in all this stuff. So this is all of our contract functionality and types. You can see our create message. That's the one that we wrote, the function get message. We actually wrote this stuff. And the messages, that's going to be that one that we stored at the top here. So that's our messages. This is our create message. This is our function get message. You can see the type function, to be function, I guess. But so that's our ABI. And then we have our contract address. I can't remember if I pulled in the right address. Basically, the address is going to be in your URL right here, or if we go back right there, or in your Remix IDE, it's going to be, basically it's everywhere, right? Your contract address, boom, right here, I believe is the right, or this one. This is going to be your address, right? Boom, there it is. So contract address, make sure you have your contract address. Let's double check we're in the right one. We were not. So the ABI and the contract address, they need to be the right, correct ones. You can technically have an old ABI with a different contract address. You might be firing off old functions, things like that, but just make sure your contract address and ABI are always up to date. And then we need to actually rename this to either address or contract address down here. Because again, that ABI and contract address is what's creating our contract instance on the front end. Okay, so that was a mouthful. That was a lot. That was a lot, guys. That was a lot. Let's test it all out. Let's see if it all works. I would be amazed if we were first take Drake right now. This would be incredible. So I'll say hello, blockchain. And boom, let's create. So boom, this is good so far. This is great that we've got this far, by the way. This is fantastic. We're triggering the Sepolia test network. And yeah, let's console log message sent, and then we'll actually do the message value so we can see if it actually all went through. So I'm sorry guys, I clicked around all this, but just click your MetaMask again, or just refresh your page. I think you can do that. And it should bring up that interaction we were about to confirm, but didn't. I just wanted to see. Boom. And let's fire it off. Pending. Confirmed. Wait, did it do it? Did it do it? Oh, I don't know if it did it. I don't know if it did it, guys. I don't know if it did it. Was that the right address is not defined? Oh no. Well, let's try to get message. Get messages is not defined. Accounts is not defined. Oh, I see. Oh, from account 0. Did we set accounts? Did we? We did. Okay. See, guys, I knew it was going to be too good to be true. Too good to be true. But let's check out the contract address to see if there's any transactions that happen. Oh, so it did actually work. It did actually get to the contract. Just the get message one's broken. This is awesome. So we do have the one we just made 44 seconds ago. That's fantastic. And let's see if we can get the message. No, still not. What did we name it? It was get message, right? Get message, public view returns owner. Let's see, contract.methods, get the message from this. That seems appropriate, right? I'm going to console log and see what is going on. So I'm going to open up my terminal one more time. Message received. Hello, blockchain. Boom. So we do have the message. Oh, you know what? We're not showing it on the front end. So we are setting it here as well. I just need to show it somewhere. Cool. Guys, I think we actually did first take Drake that. That was pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and boom, there it is. So that actually did all work. I don't think we changed anything, did we? Oh, we did change the S on get messages. That's right. We did change that. But yeah, so that's literally, yeah, that's it, guys. And we tackled that. And right now I'm at 46 minutes of recording, but by the time I cut up all the silences and filler words and stuff, it'll be less. But let's try it one more time. One more time. Oh, and confirm. Should clear out the message. Are we resetting the message value? We are when it confirms. So if this erases, that means it got sent to the blockchain because it got to this part in the code, this message value. And if we get the message one more time, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So we successfully built this message application that's integrating with the Sepolia test network. So we have ourselves a little dAPP here. We just built a front end for it and a kind of this blockchain backend for it. So that's pretty cool. And it's properly deployed and verified on the Sepolia test network, guys. Like if you want to check out this contract address, here it is, you know. But I will have all this code in the description for you guys if you got lost at any parts. Make sure that you swap your contract address for this one and your ABI. But yeah, that's crazy. That's so awesome. That is so awesome. Thank you so much for watching this far, and I'm excited to do more of blockchain shenanigans. So I will see you sooner than later. Bye.